Today we are going to be talking about several different types of garden plants and some herbs that you can easily start by taking a cutting, putting it in water, and within several weeks it will root. I am going to show you several of them, and in today's video I am actually going to demonstrate several of the varieties that I have already done so far this season, as well as at the end of the video I'm just going to give you kind of a brief list of many common ones, so that if you are really wanting to have more of these types of items, but you can't really afford to go out to the garden center and pay those atrocious prices for them, many of these you can just buy a plant, make your own cuttings, and get more bang for your buck. Hey, we are down in the greenhouse, and about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago perhaps, I took some cuttings off the top of my Eskimo marigolds. They're supposed to be white. I have heard that they're a little bit more of a creamy white, but that's okay. But they were getting kind of long and leggy, so I snipped the tops off, and look at that. They rooted. I don't know if all of them in here have roots. Let's pull them up and take a peek. The water's looking a little funky, but hey, look at that. So let's get these potted up and make some new plants, and then I will show you what the parent plant looks like. Okay, so I have my little 4-packs here. I'm just gonna stick my finger down in there to make a hole. I'm just going to take some of these cuttings. We'll get those put down in there. I'm going to get the dirt put back around them. And then when we're all done, we'll give them a watering in. Okay, we ended up with 11 little cuttings, so I'm just going to water these in here. And they are looking a little funky because, again, the stems were twisted a little bit, but if you don't mind doing me a favor and hitting that subscribe button, that would really help the channel out a lot. And we're going to keep track of these, so you'll be able to see the progress of them straightening out and growing into some plants. And I'll just show you over here past some of the tomatoes. These are the plants that they came off of. They were getting really tall and leggy. They still kind of are a little bit, but they're not too bad. These are going to go out in my growing field here pretty soon, and are going to be used for some cut flowers, so stay tuned for that as well. So here is one of the 4-packs of those marigolds that you just got done watching us transplant. So this is my last 4-pack remaining of those little cuttings that you just watched me putting into the 4-packs. This is how big they have gotten. These ones have blooms on them already, and all of the other ones I have already tucked into patio pots around the property, and I will probably show you those in upcoming videos as the pots fill out a little bit more. Okay, here are 2 more plants that will root by cutting. Many of you probably already know basil roots very easily from a cutting. Down in the greenhouse I had plants that were getting a little too leggy, so I cut them off, and I've already started several new plants, so we will get this one potted up in a minute. And then this is moss rose, and I actually really have way more than I need of these already, but I just wanted to show you. These will root as well. Now these ones did take quite a while compared to the basil. I think the moss rose took about 3 weeks to root. I'm not sure if I'm going to plant these up because, like I say, I think I already have at least 72 plants down in the greenhouse, if not more, but we'll see. I always hate to let things die when they're doing so well trying to live. I just made a hole into my potting medium. I'm going to take the root cutting, get it down in there, put the soil around it, and just water it in. And this little baby will continue to grow. Okay, so these are the sweet peas that we rooted. You can tell they have a very, very good root structure on them. Some of them did not really root, but we're going to get the ones out that did, and they were in there for about 3.5 weeks, I would say. And they're not happy with me because they have been rooted for a little while, and they've had no fertilizer. They've just been in plain old water, so they are really anxious to get into the ground. So what I'm going to do, because I don't really have a place where I'm going to put them yet down in the garden, is I'm going to pot up some of these little 4-packs. I'm just going to take my skewer. I'm going to make a pretty decent hole. Stick those down inside there. Tuck them in. And this is another one of those items where I don't particularly need more sweet peas. but I was just doing it so that I could show you guys some of the flowers that you can multiply on your own just by taking some cuttings. But I'm sure I'll find somewhere for these. They smell so good. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna get these put into little pots, get them watered in so that they can start to green up a little bit. Give them a little bit of fertilizer after a few days, and then whenever I figure out where I'm gonna put them, I will be sure and show that in another video. So I just wanted to show you, we got 23 healthy transplants, and I literally only had 3 that didn't have any roots on them, and this one actually looks like it might be trying to start putting out a root. I'm not really sure, but honestly I don't need any more, so I'm just going to stick with what I've got here. I'm going to keep them on the deck in a mostly shaded area. So here are some snapdragons that I took cuttings. I actually snipped the top of the snapdragons, and if you are unsure what that really means, I did a little segment on that in one of my videos, and I will link that down below. But what I did is I brought them into the house, I stuck them in this jar of water, and it's been just about 3 weeks, and I have, look at the roots on this, I have really nice roots. They did also, as you can see, they actually didn't try, they continued to grow. And so I'm just going to snip these off because I don't want the plant focusing on trying to grow taller. I'm going to want them to work on getting established in their little pots when I put them in there. And then once they are established in their pots, I will move them down to the growing field. I'm going to stick them down in there. Tuck the dirt around them. And the last one is the one that has really long roots. Now this one is going to be a little tricky. Let's see if I can do this again one-handed. I'm going to very gently tuck the roots down in there. Now if this scares you, I've done this enough times to where I kind of, just by feel, know the amount of pressure that I can put on it without damaging it. So that's why I'm doing it that way. But yeah, I'm just going to get that tucked in there like that. I'll give them water, and this is actually a cucumber. Okay, so I got those all tucked in there. I'm going to take my little sprayer here. I'm going to give them a light little watering in. I'm going to move this tray, sorry about the crunchy noises, out of the sun so these can rest in the shade. And then probably give them about a week to get acclimated to their pots, and then I will probably move them, again, like I said, down to the field. So as promised, here is a list of plants that you can root from cuttings in water. We have the coleus, then we have sweet potato vine, geraniums, impatiens, creeping Jenny, creeping Charlie, mint, snapdragons, and more snapdragons, marigolds, basil, sweet peas, and a beautiful bunch of different colored sweet peas. This is tricolored sage, oregano, chrysanthemums, begonias, lemon balm, bee balm, this is the flower, and bee balm, the plant, and zinnias. So hopefully you found this information helpful, and if you did, we would love it if you would subscribe. It really helps us out, and hopefully you get out there and try your hand at starting some new plants by rooting them in water. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I hope to see you next time.